Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races and try to look at an angle of the race that might be a path to finding the winner. Well, 11 races on Sunday at Sha Tin, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 5, where our winning factor is the change of tactics. Now this class 4 over 1600 metres looks to me to have quite a long tail, and I think punters will land on Zac Purton's mount as the right favourite, Flying Mojito, and there will be fans of horses like Prince Alex down in grade, Master of Fortune, a recent winner at Sha Tin, and Gold Tack, who has been consistent without winning. But to me it boils down to two main players, in fact, Prince Alex and Flying Mojito. And Flying Mojito, well, he certainly put the writing on the wall at his latest appearance. This is back to race 678, and he's in gate 11 here in yellow colours, and Luke Ferraris, his jockey this day, is in no hurry early with Flying Mojito, and that's just as well because the early stages here were run faster than average, and even mid-race the pace was pretty sound. So as a result, he ends up more than 10 lengths off the front at one point, but with every expectation that the strong speed would let the run-ons get into the race late, and Flying Mojito did just that. Hurtling home, he was the best of the finishers, charging home to just miss. Now on that day there were a number of 1,000-metre races down the straight where the finishing sections were faster, but from the circle races, Flying Mojito there was in the top 5 of the final 400-metre sectional times, and that was 1,400 metres. This time he goes to 1,600 metres with Zac Purton, always a good sign with the David Hall trained runners. But I do think that Douglas White offers some opposition with Prince Alex, a 12-start maiden in Hong Kong, but certainly has raced well on many occasions in Class 3, and we're going to take a look at his most recent effort. This is in race 710. He's in gate 3 in black and yellow checks, and Prince Alex has Matt Chadwick in the saddle here. He begins okay and is happy to take a position in the first 5 in what was a pretty slow early section. Now the pace speeds up during the second split as a runner comes around to challenge the leader, and that makes it a really nice race pan here for Prince Alex, and he's in a perfect position to be a player in the finish. Round the home turn he works up into the picture, goes to the leaders in the final 150 metres, but really can't quite get the job done. Now to be fair, that has kind of been the story of Prince Alex in Hong Kong. I think most would have expected him to have won a race by now, as he has frequently performed well, but on Sunday he gets his first chance down in Class 4. He also gets an inside draw, a big allowance for the new apprentice, Ellis Wong, and a race where his ability to race towards the front of the field is going to help. Now the pace is a question mark here. Looking Cool, he's a potential leader, as is Prosecco rising in distance, and there are several others who would like to race handy, and the pace looks more suitable for horses who are forward than those getting back. But the key to this race for Flying Mojito is the different setup. A rise in distance, a better draw, what looks a slower pace early than he had last time, and he has Zac Purton climbing back on board. And we've seen Purton ride this horse close to the speed previously when faced with a similar scenario. And that's something that is common to the champion jockeys wherever you go in the world, that they have the tactical nous, ability, and the confidence to make a difference, change the game if you like, and ride a horse differently to suit the circumstances, and it's often a winning difference. Now the focus really of the final stages of the current Hong Kong season is Zac Purton's chase for Joe Moreira's tally of 170 wins in a season, the current record. And he's sitting on 151 at the moment, needs 20 more, and I thought it was worth taking a little detour here ahead of Sunday to have a look at that statistically, because Purton has powerful rides all day on Sunday, and this could be a real fork in the road one way or another. So commentators have been talking about this record in terms of how many wins per meeting Zac needs still to get, but This is a more accurate viewpoint here because different meetings have different numbers of races. Now, here I've gone in terms of the number of races, 87 left in the season. As you can see, Zach Purton, across the samples that I've used here in the season, rides in about 83 to 85% of races, with a win rate of somewhere between 22 to 24%, give or take. But if we give him the high end of that participation rate at 85% and a 23% win rate, that comes in at exactly 20 wins, the number he needs to snatch the record. So it's going to go right to the last day of the season in my view, but a big day Sunday, one way or the other, could swing the probability. But back to our tips, and in race 5, it has to be Flying Mojito. His winning factor, the change of tactics. Now, Luke Ferraris did nothing wrong in the context of the last run, a fast run 1400 metres from a wide gate, but Zach Purton gets a different setup here, and I expect him to do what champion riders do and change the game, have this horse closer in running and make the difference at the finish. And it could just add one more in the tally for his chase for that record. The other race I'm going to take a look at is race 8, and our winning factor here, the Rehearsal. So this is a 1400 metres, a class 2, and as is usual in this grade, it's competitive. Informed Vincent Ho has a leading chance on Galaxy Witness. Douglas White trained Flaming Rabbit is knocking on the door. Eremo has won 2 of his last 3, an Amazing Victory, Flagship Warrior, and even the likes of Beauty Live and Sylvester could win without surprising. But for me, the main focus has to be on Galaxy Witness and Flaming Rabbit. So let's take a look at Flaming Rabbit's latest run. And don't blink or you'll miss the brilliant start. From gate 12, Flaming Rabbit in the dark green and purple colours. We've seen this before from him in his 3 Hong Kong starts. He's brilliant out of the gates, this horse, and Lyle Hewitson gets him straight across to lead easily. From all for St Paul's and Drombeg Banner, both regular leaders themselves. But the heat map tells a story. First section not that fast, then Hewitson walks them through the next 400 metres before ramping it up from the 800 metres. And just for today's show, I've included the lengths above and below average for the leader in each section. And Flaming Rabbit goes through this 800 metre to 400 metre section almost 8 lengths faster than average. I think a length or two slower and 100 metres later, he would have got the result. But Flaming Rabbit was unable to sustain it. Tuchel reeled him in with Amazing Victory running on into 3rd there as well. Now, I can't be too critical of Hewitson's ride there, a smart ride that just about got the result. But I think that was the difference, just asking Flaming Rabbit to do too much in too short a period of time there in that 800 to 400 metre section, and he really emptied out over the final stages. His last 400 metres ranking 69th on the day from 103 runners around the circle races. So that was where the difference was in the finish. Race 700 is the other race we're going to take a look at here, and Galaxy Witness drew wide, goes back to the rear as usual in the yellow and red colours. Eremo in red and black from gate 6 settles in 5th, while in blue colours Sylvester is quickly out and crosses to be the keen going leader at his first run for 7 months. Now the heat map shows some cadence in the pace, but in fact all sections were within a length faster or slower than average. So pretty evenly run here, thanks to Sylvester proving difficult to relax. And so it was not especially advantageous for any part of the field. When they turn into the straight, Eremu comes out to challenge over the final 200 metres. Then he in turn is gathered up by the winner Red Lion. But Galaxy Witness, he's followed the winner through, unable to match him, but he's running on well into 3rd placing. Now Sylvester weakens out to finish second last there, but I wanted to highlight him because he was so keen going at his first run after a long break. Now he's had that run under the belt, and when we look at the map, he may be more tractable here and more of a threat therefore, but also with the run under his belt also has a vital role to play on the map, because this is a race without many speed runners, though the speed runners it does have are quite quick. We saw how fast Flaming Rabbit begins in a race, and even coming back in distance to 1400 metres, he will probably clear Sylvester early. But Sylvester does have good pace, and Flaming Rabbit might not get the chance to slow up too much in the lead, despite the two of them dominating the pace. Galaxy Witness, well, he'll take his usual spot out the back. Eremo, we saw, is not that fast, but might find himself a bit closer this time simply because others are slower. But the pace of the race is in the hands of the young South African jockeys, Hewitson on Flaming Rabbit and Ferraris on Sylvester. But the tip from me in race 8 is Flaming Rabbit. His winning factor, the Rehearsal. Now, in my view, well, Lyle Hewitson went just a little bit early or a little bit fast in that last race, and it cost him the win. But in this game, you don't often get a do-over, but that's what it looks like on Sunday. I think he'll get it right this time, and he'll be the one they have to beat. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next time.